Bulacan State University. Bataan Peninsula State University. Central Luzon State University. Don Honorio Ventura Technological State University. Nueva University of Science and Technology. Tarlac State University. Bulacan Agricultural State College. The National Commission for Culture and the Arts and Bulacan State University present. The Regional Symposium on Language Culture Practices in Central Luzon featuring a framework for the standardization of the education of culture towards the regional sustainability of Central Luzon, a language profile analysis. A recipient of the 2016 NCCA Competitive Research Grant. As approved by the Board of Commissioners under Resolution No. 2017-031 dated December 14, 2016, a report of results from Dr. Analiza Acuna Villacorte, NCCA grantee. From the preconceived notions that the level of culture orientation of people predicts the progress of a country, and that the level of education is the predictor of the former, the conceptualization of theories related to this inspired this study. This study reports: the strategic location of the Philippines is the country's key advantage in its journey to become the preferred Asian-Pacific market gateway of world's competing exporters. Any of the countries and the regions bordering the Pacific Ocean have this advantage. The central Luzon, Philippines, for instance, is highly likely to become the industrial heartland of the Philippines and the Asia-Pacific, as presumed by the Department of Trade and Industry Philippines because of its accessibility to ports along and near the area. This globalization progress would of necessity include a realignment of economic activity from the west to the east, which would have huge implication for people, businesses, and governments in Luzon as well as the Asia and the Pacific region. It would involve political, economic, social, and technological developments. These developments will be the conditions that attract increasing flows of investment capital. Instrumental in the fight to become competitive globally is the need to identify unmet demands and to tailor products and services against international market standards. These demands will invite new perspectives, innovations, and reforms. These global changes and demands will force developing countries in particular to become more responsive in order to keep abreast of world trends and best practices. The success in this new environment will demand a robust and internationally aware education system. Education has been linked time and time again with the economic sustainability of developing countries. A progressive country, however defined, creates productive citizens just as productive citizens create progressive sustainable economies. This was pointed out as early as the 18th century by Adam Smith, the father of modern economics. He argued that the higher the cultural competency of a citizen, the higher the chances for a progressive economy. And most important, he argued that the level of the cultural orientation is dependent on the level of the education. The many attempts at global competitiveness have led to the study and promotion of cultures. Despite the unique features of every culture, most would still agree with Franz Boas, the German-American anthropologist who maintained that no truly pure culture exists. Boas disagreed with the then study of culture, which assumed that the progress of a country is measured on the technological advancement and that there are hierarchies among cultures. He proved that no race is innately superior to any other. All peoples can be equally competitive, particularly in the use of language. And since culture is impacted by human interaction as proposed by Delheims, then there is a real need to understand a language where the instrument of that is understanding it. All of these studies recognize the importance of linguistic structure and cultural processes and how they contribute to the organization of work. All are also equally concerned with the future of minority language communities. Hill, 2005. This study deals with how culture education contributes to the development of productive citizens and how language competencies play a key role in the economic growth of the region that contribute to its sustainability. These competencies are necessary in designing a learning framework that promotes both the standardization of the education of culture and language as key component in the economic growth of Central Luzon. The results hope to promote the nurture of linguistic and cultural diversity. Essentially, what is proven here is that the need of a bridge language that does not negatively impact cultural diversity rather is strengthened by it. The tests on demography, language ethnography, sustainability capacity and culture orientation subjected the following hypotheses to statistical treatment, where no significant relationship exists between the predictor variables and culture orientation. H1, significant relationship exists between the predictor variables and culture orientation. Results proved that test results using the Pearson R correlation two-tailed t-test, where the level of significance is at the point 0.01, measured a no significant relationship between language processes and culture orientation, but the former is significant among other competencies. The test statistic Pearson's chi-squared test alpha equals 0.05 level of significance was used to determine if significant relationship exists between demography, language ethnography, sustainability capacity and culture orientation, which were measured in nominal and ordinal scales. The recorded difference between the expected and the observed frequencies and the predictor variables are not significantly related to culture orientation, where demography and culture orientation are independent. Language ethnography and culture orientation are independent. Sustainability capacity and culture orientation are independent. From the results, the following conclusions were drawn. 1. The English faculty of the state universities and colleges in central Luzon, a majority of whom are women, have acquired maturity in the study of the English language and in their capacity to mentor trainees. 2. The education is described as a combination of vertically aligned and multidisciplinary orientation with high pedagogical knowledge, mastery and expertise in the area of English. 3. The linguistic diversity in the region is multilingual. 4. Language practices produce general professional proficiency and advanced professional proficiency in listening, general professional proficiency in speaking, advanced professional proficiency in reading, and advanced professional proficiency in writing. The recorded statistics shows that in general in the context of central Luzon, one cannot be monolingual. One needs a language other that is owned for wider communication, showing that many languages coexist in the community, which only proves that there is a healthy language ecology in central Luzon, and this is consistent with the language policy, the multilingual policy. It can be substantiated that the language condition in central Luzon is an ideal breeding ground for multilingualism, the local language for ethno-linguistic pride of the people, the national language for national identity, and English for global competitiveness. This only validates the language policy in the Philippines, which is multilingualism. The language processes observed were not culture-based. This means that the English language experiences provided in central Luzon across different ethno-linguistic groups did not significantly differ. The level of cultural orientation revealed collectivists' faculty members. With very high orientation, that hierarchy and equality may both exist in the group. Sucks have started offering customized English, but few still adhere to generic English. Few conduct group teaching. All Sucks conduct benchmarking, periodic curriculum updating, centralized monitoring, research-based policies and scenario-based implementation. But not all Sucks allot appropriate funds for language program development. The recorded transcripts in the unstructured focus group discussion consisted of mixed representatives in terms of their native language, their experience and teaching, age, and education background revealed different classroom practices and experiences, from the use of the native language to the importance of the preparedness and orientation of the students in the study of the English language. The importance of the medium of instruction was discussed. The study revealed an overall impression that the state universities and colleges in central Luzon are internationally competitive ready. As collectivists, with the observed very high culture orientation both horizontally and vertically, with the modern concept of society as insulated and borderless, the readiness of Region 3 to engage in collaboration is very high. The international competitiveness of the people and the important aspects of culture may be complementary to decision-making and policy formulation. Connected to the study of culture is the study of language. Therefore, special consideration of the language of the people in the region may be of great importance. Lastly, since the specific culture of the global market is competitiveness, readiness to work the world market is necessary. Thus, this study suggests that the implementation of the study of English as a trade and broker language is urgent, particularly where language is used not only for interaction but for negotiation. While the cultural competency can also be gained using a bridge language, when English is used as a bridge language in the region, central Luzon can become a hub of international trade, which will require a knowledge of English as well as an ability between many cultures, each with its own language. The adoption of Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory, 1978, anchored in multilingual concept with English as the bridge language, is the best learning framework to create learning opportunities, learning, and new ideas.